I remember when I was really small, 5 or 6 years old. Had an older brother, younger sister. My dad was deeply, deeply in the throes of alcoholism and drug addiction, and I can remember a lot of abuse with my mother, and it was really, really tough. It was really, really tough. I can remember it was whether it was a dream or whether it was just the thought in my mind that it was a lot of confusion. It was when the Lord spoke to my heart. I was about 6 years old. He said, "I love you and I'll always be with you and everything's going to be okay." Got involved with drinking and substance abuse, and I think by the time I was 20, I had basically was in full-blown alcoholism. But I could never admit it. That's one thing about that disease. It's got a real terrible stigma to it. The stigma comes from people not understanding that it's a disease. So I didn't have any surrender in me, and I would never, ever admit that I was an alcoholic. I hope I never forget the day when I felt as like I was the last person on the earth. I had so much pain. It was physical, it was mental. And I was still drinking, but I didn't want to drink, but I didn't want to admit that the drinking had me whipped. And it was just so powerful. It was so hurtful. I realized I couldn't go another day, and I asked the Lord. Like I'd asked him so many times before, but I'd always carried that with me. I'd ask him to relieve me of it, but I was always holding on to it. So I actually surrendered and asked the Lord to help me with it, and it was like a modern day miracle, because with alcoholism there's a mental obsession and a physical allergy where people do this against their will, and you can't stop it. They said there's no human power that can stop it. It has to be a spiritual problem that's corrected by God. In that instant, that compulsion was taken from me, and I felt a little peace, and the light went back on the way it did back when I was a kid. It'd be hard to describe just how much I enjoy coming here. I was at a church probably for 20 years. My church was in my living room with my Bible. But I think the Lord is definitely has a great work that he wants to do through everybody here. We've been suggested through the Apostle Paul. He wanted us to get together with believers. I think that's really important. And like I said before, I think if we really understood the hope and the love that we have through Christ, we would go around high-fiving everybody we saw. I mean, they think we're crazy. They do it on TV and everything, but that's what we should really do. But just a very short while are we here, and he's only asked us to love him with everything that we have, and to reach out and try to love our brothers and sisters, and that's not asking a lot, I don't think.